Let's take a minute. I hope you all had a chance to relax during the pre-oneg. Someone's calling it pre-neg, and I know Hebrew and it doesn't work. So let's take a minute now and think back through the week. Think all the way back to last Shabbat. And think about what was good. There are times for complaining and things like that, but this is a time for what's good. So please give some thought to what was good in your week, all the way back to last Saturday. Now, I know most of you here, but not everybody does. But nonetheless, they don't know what was the best thing for you this week. So please go over to someone that you weren't already sitting with and introduce yourself just to be sure and tell them what was good in your week and ask them what was good in theirs. So please do that.
I forgot to write it down, but anniversary blessings.
Yeah.
I saw that you had it. This isn't plugged in.
Oh, then we should use ours.
Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for being so welcoming. Shabbat Shalom, I invite you to take your seats. Thank you. We're going to begin on the screens, Hine Matov, by Alana Arian, who will be here with us tomorrow morning to celebrate Shabbat, Rak Shabbat in the morning. Hine Matov
Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is to be together on this day.
How good it is. How sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Matov. Hine Matov. Umanayim. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
Shalom
Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is to be together on this day.
How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
We open our Sidurim to page 138, 139, L'chadodi. We will join together in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד. ושמו אחד לשמו תפארת ולתחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונחה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם. נעשוך סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שדברי כבוד אדוני, עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 9, please rise and face the entrance if you're able. בואי לשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולתו אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Page 140. You may be seated. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O God Most High. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat.
טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, מעשה ידיך רנים. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. ולזמר לשמך עליון. 121 and 120.
As these Shabbat candles give light to
all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As they reminds us,
Thus, Christ reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. 127. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. 144.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייך וביומך ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב. ואמרו
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, יעלם אל מעלמיה, יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח, יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה
בריחו.
לאל אמין כל ברכתה ושירתה.
תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה.
ואמרו
Amen. 146, please rise if you are able. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. setting of the sun. You unfold the heavens with brilliant moon and stars, and wrap our souls with peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam, asher bivaro mariv haravim, bechokma potech sharim. Baruch atah Adonai Hamarim Haravim.
150. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. We're on 154. ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושימנתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. 156. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior, who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You perform miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously.
Yai bye bye bim bim bam,
Yabba bye bye bim bam, yai bye bye bim bam, yabba bye bye bim bam, yai dai 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 dai, yabba bye bye bim bam, yai dai 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 dai, yabba bye bim bam.
Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bakodesh, norati lo osefele, norati lo אוסף אלה, מהלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי, ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Yai bye bidi bam, yabba bye bim bam. Yai bye bidi bam, yabba bye bim bam. Ay 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 ay, yabba bye bim bam. Ay 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 ay, yabba bye bim bam. Hashkivenu is on the screens. Hashkivenu. Adonai Eloheinu, Leshalom ve'hamidenu, Shomreinu lechayim, Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha, V'taknenu b'etzah tova, milfanecha, והושיענו למען שמך. Grant us peace as we lay down and close our eyes. You will shelter me and my family neath the shadow of your wings. Keep us safe and raise us up to life renewed. And through every storm, you will keep us warm, filled with love and light. Watching over us, you will carry us safely through the night. The Shamrus, page 162. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We continue with the Amidah 164 and the even number pagers. Please rise if you're able. Adonai, Sifatai tiftach, Ofi yagid, Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai tiftach, Ofi yagid, Tehilatecha. Adonai, Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Ha'nora, Eloyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Imachot, U'mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai,
Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav Lahushia,
Mashivaruch
U'Morid
Morid
HaGashem,
Mechakel
Im
Chayim
Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Smech Noflim Verofech Oholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato L'Shenei Afar, Mi Chamocha Ba'al Gevorot, U'Mito Melach, Melech Memit, U'Mechayeh, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atah L'Chayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. 170. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Rest and renewal, Kiddushat Hayom on the screens, or between 173 and 172. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Kachenu b'mitzvotecha, v'techachenu b'toratecha. Sabeinu mitovecha, v'samchenu b'yeshuatecha. V'taher libeinu l'avdecha b'emet, v'taher libeinu. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai. Mekadesh HaShabbat. 175. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avot. 177. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'eh lehodot.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. We continue silently through page 181, or the words of our own heart.
Adonai, Suri, Adonai, Suri, V'goali. Adonai, Suri, Adonai, Suri, V'goali.
Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you, oh my rock, my rock, and my Redeemer.
Please turn to 371 for Mishaberach. If there is someone who is in need of healing, please take this time to say their names to yourself, or as I look around the room, say their names out loud so they become part of this prayer. Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. This is the last Shabbat in the month of March, and so we invite people up who are celebrating wedding anniversaries, which includes Joanna and Jacob, and Shira and me, and at least one other couple. So anniversary people, please come up. Oh, you want to owe them?
They're hiding.
Joanna's got to dig that whole thing apart. Is that going to work? Yeah, really. When no kisses, why bother getting married? Thank you.
I'll come after.
They're not in here.
No, probably in the other one. Is it? No?
This one's mine. That's
Oh,
the
okay,
side they're
then
usually
beats
in.
me. We'll owe them. All right.
I'm sorry.
That we're set up for Rock Shabbat. It's really not our fault. It's above our pay grade. So please come on up here. We'll do it here. Let's put Joanna in the middle. Since come on in the middle here. We get next so everyone can hold. So
It's okay.
You,
it's all right.
should know that right here is 99 years of marriage.
Oh my God.
That's
Uh-huh. Who thought of that? I do the math on stuff like that. It is 99 years of marriage right here, which is pretty neat. So, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, bless each of these couples as we look back on the day of our marriage and forward to the years ahead. Many and varied have been our experiences together, but in happiness and in sorrow alike, you, O God, have been with us. Dear God, let your spirit continue to glow within these couples, that each partner may see your image in the other. Let their way of life be loving and good, that they may help to bear each other's burdens and share each other's joys. May these, your children, continue to know the blessing of a home that honors the house of Israel, a peaceful home where contentment, happiness, and love thrive. May we grow old together in health, and may we live in gratitude to you and to each other for our marriages. Please join us in Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
We praise you, Adonai, our God, source of all creation, for creating us, for sustaining us, and for bringing us to this celebration. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Mort brought us something.
Okay.
Happy
Happy anniversary.
Many, many more.
And to you.
Many, many more. 4?
Happy anniversary.
4?
4. There you go. Okay.
It's okay, I'll pass.
No, they're not old. They're not old, really. It's okay. Thank you, Mort. Thank you. Happy anniversary. Okay, all right. So you should have one so it doesn't feel bad. There you go. So I wanted to speak about kashrut, because this Torah portion in the middle of Leviticus has 3 completely separate subjects, or at least so it seems, that come in this very short little portion. The portion's called Shmini. The first chapter of Shmini is more of the rules for the priests, how you make the sacrifices, how you do everything. And the instruction given to the priest right at the beginning of the chapter says this: you must distinguish between the sacred and the profane, and between the unclean and the clean. That's one of the priest's jobs. The second chapter talks about 2 of Aaron's children who apparently do it wrong and who suffer a terrible fate for doing the sacrifices, the offerings, improperly. And then the third chapter changes completely and talks about keeping kosher, seemingly unrelated to anything else. So I wanted to pick up on this thing about kashrut. So what reasons have you heard for people keeping kosher? What? Hygiene. So the whole thing about red tide or trichinosis in pigs and things like that. We've heard about that. So they were animals that were dirty. Okay, so we've got that. Good. That's one reason that people say. What have you heard? Why do people say that they keep kosher? Because we've always done it, right? Family tradition, it's what we do. Good.
Because my father said so.
Ah, yes, no. Okay, so you did in your house? Okay, so yeah, because it's my parents' tradition. Following along on that, there are people, there are people who keep kosher because family members keep kosher and they want them to be able to eat in their house, and so we will keep a kosher house so everyone can feel comfortable here. Good. Other reasons? Whether you accept it or not, I mean, what have you heard? Why do people do it? I mean, this is a basic one. We're commanded. We're told, do this. God doesn't say why so much. Any others?
I don't pray 3 times a day, but I do eat.
Yep. And
it makes me pay attention.
so it's a constant reminder tied into something that you do ordinarily and makes you pay attention. Good. Thank you. Was there another hand? Yes. We're Jews. It's what Jews do. Right. So it's interesting because Shira and I, neither of us grew up keeping kosher. Our families did not keep kosher. And each of us decided in college to keep kosher. We hadn't met. And we decided to keep kosher for the same reason. And that was the one that Shira just said. When I first decided that I wanted to live a Jewish life as opposed to not just being a Jew who did some stuff, the first thing I did was to say, I need to keep kosher. And as Shira said, I was at Brandeis University. The Hillel was rather orthodox. I wasn't going to services every day, let alone 3 times a day, but I was most certainly eating every day. The one day I didn't eat was Yom Kippur, and the Jewish stuff was pretty much taken care of on Yom Kippur. We got, that whole thing happening. But other than that, I would always eat. And so having a practice, a regimen of how I ate was, in my way, praying. It was, yes, God, I hear you. No, I'm not in synagogue. I'm in the cafeteria. But even here, I hear you, and I'm going to do things the way a Jew does them. And that's really been my reason. I find the second part you said was to pay attention. Was it?
It makes me pay attention.
Makes you pay
I
attention.
look at a label or I
Cool. So we can't just eat. See, now the other reason that I've heard was that this is something that helps us control our passions. The kashrut says you can't just say gimme. I'm reminded of that a lot recently because our granddaughter is now eating what is laughingly called solid food. It's not solid, it's pureed. But she now, when she's sitting in her chair and you're feeding her, if you don't feed her fast enough, she bangs on the table. I mean, she absolutely just bangs till that next mouthful goes in there. She's a taskmaster. And I look at this and I'm reminded of the way we are all born. We are all born selfish. We're all born with gimme and gimme faster and gimme what I want and when I want, and that's it. And so what does kashrut do? It comes along and says, no, wait a minute. You're not an animal. Animals eat whatever is in front of them. You're a human being. You're a Jew. You're called to do things differently. You're called to stop and think about what you're doing. Can I have this? As opposed to, can I catch this? Can I buy this? Can I have this? And some things I can't have. Some things I can have, but not right now. I just had meat. And so when those nice little cheesecakes come out, Shira took the kiss and put it down because we just had meat and it's milchik. And so she'll have it a little later. So things I can have, but not necessarily the moment I want them. And for me also, that's been a living instruction in being more than an animal, in being more than the baby that goes, give me now, and cries if you don't get what you want when you want it. To say that I have the power to control my emotions, to control my wants, my desires, is actually a very powerful and holy thing. To say that God's given us this ability to be more than animals. And those are the reasons that I've always used for all the years since 1972 when I started keeping kosher. So in reading through this portion, I'm looking for validation of what I do and things like that, and a way to explain it. And I came up with something that I really wasn't expecting. And I've read this before, but in that 3rd chapter, after God describes what you can eat and what you can't eat, you'll be pleased to know that locusts are allowed. I think I figured you'd want to know that, certainly before.
Only like 3 or 7 varieties.
Certain varieties, right. But when you go to Jersey Freeze later on, you can ask for the locust ice cream. It's good, it's kosher, it's all good. So some crickets, it's a really interesting list. Chapter 11 of Leviticus. But at the very end, after going through all these things you can eat and not eat, it says this: you shall not draw abomination upon yourselves through anything that swarms. You shall not make yourselves unclean therewith, and thus become unclean. For I, Adonai, am your God. You shall sanctify yourselves and be holy, for I am holy. You shall not make yourselves unclean through any swarming thing that moves upon the earth. For I, Adonai, am the one who brought you up from the land of Egypt to be your God. You shall be holy, for I am holy. I looked at that, and I thought back to what I read at the beginning of the first chapter. For the priests, only for the priests, you must distinguish between the sacred and the profane, and between the unclean and the clean. And suddenly I saw something new about kashrut that I never saw before. Because since the year 70, we have not had a temple, as in capital T temple, where sacrifices were offered. And so we know that the rabbi said that prayer takes the place of sacrifice. That's why our prayers are at the times of day that they are and things like that, because they were the post-temple equivalent of offering sacrifices. But this says something different. This says that the way we eat turns us into priests. The priests were just charged. You must distinguish between the sacred and the profane, and between the unclean and the clean. And we, all of us, are told, you shall not draw abomination upon yourselves through anything that swarms. You shall not make yourselves unclean therewith, and thus become unclean. I'd never seen this before. I never got the connection. That when we choose to eat the things that are permitted to us, we fulfill the function of the priests in ancient times. We become the priests. Because the priest's job was not simply to make the sacrifices, it was to be the arbiter for the whole community of what's clean and what's unclean. With food, with people, with diseases, with clothing, with houses, everything. The priests were the arbiter, what's clean and what's not. And everything focused on that. But it turns out that we are the arbiters also. And I didn't even realize that this thing that I've been doing, which I knew somehow connected me to God. It was more than simply, okay, so you control your appetites. It was, for me, my original form of regular prayer. The first regular prayer I did in my life was not praying with words. It was praying with food. It was saying, I can eat this, I can't eat this. Why? Because of you, God. It's not just about me. It's the way I would serve God. And so when someone says, have a cheese char. No, I'm sorry, it was in Boston, Brandeis. Cheese cha, which was a cheeseburger, was their way of doing it, and which I loved from the moment I arrived at Brandeis. They were really good. And so 3 months into my time at Brandeis, I gave up cheese chas. Cha burger. I gave it up. I'd walk in the cafeteria every day and I'd go, I'll have a hamburger. And then I went and changed from the regular dining hall at Brandeis to the kosher dining hall at Brandeis. Which, on the one hand, made it easier because you had your choice and whatever was there was good. But this, too, was a decision I made because that was down in Shapiro, which is all the way at the bottom of the hill and not anywhere near the classes. So by saying that I'm going to go eat in the kosher cafeteria, I was praying. I was choosing between the clean and the unclean. I was creating my relationship with God. And in that moment when I did that, and in every moment when I do this, I become the modern day priest. And I don't mean me as opposed to you. I mean me as a Jew, a Pashut Yid, a plain Jew. We actually take on the role of the high priest. Every time we look and say, no, not that. Every time we go in the store and read a label. We love Progresso soups. They're really good. A lot of the chicken soups are made with whey or milk. So you will see me standing in ShopRite. That one's okay. And that one's not, to find the ones that we can do. And that simple act, that act of determining the clean from the unclean, is what our ancestors, the Kohanim, the priests, were charged with doing thousands of years ago. And I had just never made this connection. I knew why I was doing it, but I didn't realize that I was connecting myself to a charge given to people thousands of years ago who are not my direct ancestors, because I'm not Kohen and I'm not Levi. I'm a Yisrael, I'm a plain Jew. How does a plain Jew get to be a priest? Turns out the answer is here. When we determine the difference between the clean and the unclean, the permitted and the forbidden, when we say that I am going to do what God calls me to do, even if it's not what I really want at this moment, we pray. Abraham Joshua Heschel was quoted after the march in Selma, Alabama, saying that he felt his feet were praying when he walked over the bridge. And I've always loved that, and we've used that and spoken to our students about social justice and how you pray with your feet. I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow morning. But it turns out we also pray with our mouths, not just in words. We pray with our appetites. We pray with our ability to stop and say, no, that's there, but that's not for me. I'm the arbiter. God has called me to separate the sacred from the profane, the clean from the unclean. And since reading this and looking at it, it's actually changed the way I look at what I do every day now for 50 years. I'm being the priest. I'm being a member of that sacred caste of our people. Every single time I say, oh, got to wait another half hour before I have the ice cream. I knew I was doing it for me. I hoped I was doing it for God. I had never realized I was doing it for our people. But I now have a new reason for why I keep kosher. Because in a very small, private little way, I've been called to be part of this nation of priests and this holy people. And you can hear that call too. If anyone would like ideas on how to begin, how to take a step toward holy eating, toward sacred eating, please speak to any of us. We would love to help you. It doesn't mean going to your house and throwing out every dish you own and everything you own. There are ways to start. There are ways to build up. There are things you can try. And we would be more than happy to help you, not judging you at all. Because if you come to us and say, please help me learn how to separate the clean from the unclean, the sacred from the profane, I can think of no holier job that we could do than to work with you on that. Good luck. Page 586, Eleno says, we have been given a unique destiny. Thank you, God, for that destiny. 586, please rise if you're able. Adon hakol, latet gdula liotze breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot hadama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. 588 ויוסד ארץ מושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו, אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום שיבות האל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת אין עוד. Page 590, please be seated. Let all who dwell on earth acknowledge that unto you every knee must bend and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you, Adonai our God, let them pay homage. Let them give glory to your honored name. Let all accept the yoke of your reign, that you may rule over us soon and forever. For sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory, as it is written in your Torah, Adonai will reign forever and ever. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. I'd like to remind you all that tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. is our only morning Rock Shabbat of the year. Ilana Arian is our guest artist. She's been with us before, and she's wonderful. And we hope you'll come join us. We get to study Torah, read Torah. Also, we're welcoming our friends from Wicker Memorial Baptist Church. They will be here, so please come. And when you come, if you see someone who doesn't look like the average member of TRT, go over and say hi, sit with them, help them figure out what we're doing. You know, it really, be a little open and welcoming, because they're really welcoming to us whenever we go there. So we'd love to see you all tomorrow morning. And then our weekend, Pursuit of Harmony, is coming up in the middle of April. The information is on the sheet. If you'd like to sponsor this, please talk to us. If you'd like to come, the Friday evening service is a Rock Shabbat service. Saturday, we have a luncheon, study and learn. It's free, but you have to tell us in advance you're coming. And then on Sunday afternoon is our annual Rock Shabbat fundraising concert. If you're going to buy tickets, please do it soon so we don't freak out, because no one buys till the last minute. And we hope you'll join us, because it's really going to be an extraordinary weekend. So please take the announcement sheet with you. We have so many things going on in the coming weeks. It's really busy and really good. We hope you'll be here. We turn to 598. If you are here to say Kaddish for Shiva, for someone who died in the past week, please rise and say their name aloud. And if you are here to say Kaddish for Shloshim, for someone who died in the past 30 days, please rise and say their names aloud. And if you are here to say Kaddish for Yartzeit or for any other reason, please rise and say their names. My friend Joel Auerbach.
May God console you among the corners of Zion and Jerusalem.
598, please rise.
V'yitkadash
Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamnich malchutei, V'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitaleh, v'yithalal, shmei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma, v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel and to all the world, to which we say, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Please turn back to page 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, l'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכהנים, לשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Our closing song this evening will be Kiyah Shmera Shabbat on 129. Rabbi spoke about us becoming a nation of priests because of the choices that we make. We determine the holy from the profane, the kosher from the not kosher. And one of the things that Jews do is keep Shabbat. And when we make the day of Shabbat special, it is a sign to us and it's a sign to God that we still remember the covenant and that we're still part of it. So we join with Kiyah Shmera Shabbat as one other way in which we are, like our ancestors, the priests, determining the holy. Kiyah Shmera Shabbat, El Yishmereini. Kiyah Shmera Shabbat, El Yishmereini. Oti le'omead uveini. Oti le'omead beino uveini. Kiyah Shmera Shabbat, El Yishmereini. Kiyah Shmera Shabbat, El Yishmereini. Oti le'ol me'ad beino uveini. Oti le'ol me'ad beino uveini. When God finished creation, God said, I have put everything here. Some things I consider sacred. Some things I consider profane. Each has its purpose on earth. And then I will create people whose job will be to take my advice, to take my instruction, and to discover what is sacred in the world and what is profane. We have been given the power to complete God's work. All we have to do is take the time to discern, to be the priests of our day, to separate the profane from the sacred. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.